Welcome back, Jesus here. In today's video, we'll take a look at how to W-key like the youngest Fortnite pro. If you guys don't know who Alex is, I'll give you a little bit of backstory on him. He actually got banned in the past, back during lockdown during 2020, for being underage. He was an insane player. However, a lot of people were suspicious of him, especially because he was very young sounding, of course. And he got second place in the solo cash cup during this time. He was playing with two you guys might recognise, and he also got fourth place during duo FNCS. But right after this placement, right after getting fourth place in the FNCS finals, I'm pretty sure before he could even claim his earnings, he got banned for being underage. He basically went the entirety of that lockdown period where everyone was grinding the game loads and playing an insane amount up until his birthday, which was just in August of 2021, where he turned 13 and he's finally able to play again, and he started playing. As soon as he got unbanned during his first season, he got third place in grand finals. During the next season, he had really good placements in cash cups, and he actually won the Grand Royale as well. So his second season back, he won the Grand Royale on OCE, and then since then, he's done really well. He's won a duo cash cup, and we're taking a look at his solo cash cup games here. He won a solo cash cup last season, and this season he's already popping off with the placements. He is by far the best WQ in my opinion on OCE, and he is absolutely insane on a mechanical level and a fighting game sense level as well. So let's take a look at here. I've got loads of tips and tricks for you guys. We've got about 15 different strategies for you guys to implement your own gameplay. So let's get straight into this with number one. This fight right here is a perfect example of how good Alex is at predicting his opponents. So you can see here he starts pressuring this wall, but at this point this guy places a backwards ramp. There's really no point about approaching this wall anymore. So you can see what he does next. He goes around to the side, tack sprints forward, so he gets that little bit of acceleration where the guy's not able to leave his box just yet, as you can see. Tack sprints forward, gets the double at him, almost gets the full box right there. And then as he overcommits forward, this is one thing you guys need to learn from him, which is he doesn't overcommit to this bad edit. A lot of people will do a full edit here, take 50 aim trade, we're actually on lower HP than the other guys, you can see, which is something you need to avoid. Instead, what he does is he places a right-hand window, gets that floor onto the guy, as you can see. He could have maybe got a cone there as well. Gets that floor onto the guy so the guy can't go upwards. Now he's unlikely to go back into his old box over here because Alex just got doubles on that. He also is unlikely to do a whole 180 and turn to like his back to Alex and go out that way. So instead he predicts where he's going to go next, gets into the box, just misses a few shots here, which is not really ideal. But then after that you see very nice edit, does some good movement as well behind the cone to make sure he doesn't get damaged, and then does a nice jump as well to SMG him right down. This is an example of why it's really important to have good binds for editing, just so you can swing to the left hand side as you do a wall replay. So you can see here what he's going to do is set up this top right and peak, pretty standard stuff, but as you can see what he's going to go ahead and do is swing the whole way to the left as he completes the edit. So while he's doing the motion of edit, he kind of moves to the left to make the edit a little bit easier to do, and you can keep your crosshair a little bit more centered on the guy. And then also what he does is crouch down into the corner and get a shot off as well. So I really recommend using an edit button like E or F, or something that's not really pressed, like Alt or something, just because that means that you can crouch while editing, and you can also swing to the left and get out of the way of other people's crosshair and be behind your peaks as you edit as well. One thing you always need to do whenever you're approaching a box and you're trying to box fight is look what type of pieces they're missing in their box. And they're missing a center wall between their two boxes, and they're missing the center piece like a cone or a stair, and how can you use that against them. So you can see here as he's going to go ahead and approach, he gets this wall close on the guy. He also gets the cone swing in on this far side as he goes around. This guy's just chilling in the box trying to heal up. He gets all of these cones in from a long distance, as you can see here, so he doesn't actually need to replace and get that later. Then he gets the close wall, and then finally he just commits to the angel with good movement, making sure he's jumping the entire time, so it's a lot harder to hit headshots on him, and he wins that fight very nicely as well. One of the best tips I can give you guys for W-king in solos, especially when it comes to the early game, is always think about your loose advantage that you can have on other players. You can see here Alex has landed over on the blimp. He's going to cannon over straight away onto this guy, and the main reason he's doing this is obviously it's a pretty free fight to take. He can kind of set it up how he wants, but he's always going to have loot advantage in this fight, as you can see here. If you go to the other guy's inventory, he hasn't even got an SMG yet, he's not got the best heals. He's obviously got good mats, but Alex just has far superior loot to actually take this fight, and it's going to make it very easy for him to finish it quickly. Always think about the loot density of your sport, how many henchman crates you're getting, how long you have to spend farming to get good mats. Everything like that is really important when it comes to W-king. So you can see here, very nicely gets that shot off. This is a nice peek that he does. Just barely misses the shot right there, as you can see. And then he finally finishes the fight very quick. Again, it's just one of those simple cases of how much loot do you have compared to the other guy, and how free will this fight be to take if you were to do it straight away as well. This right here is basically a perfectly played fight by Alex, and it's one of those examples of why it's important to take a fight quickly if you're trying to get one of these high kill games, or if you're just playing solo in general. So first of all, he's always trying to look for these chop out plays, just small disconnects where you can just 50-50 a pump trade, and as you can see here, he's always going to win that damage 50-50. So he gets a little bit of damage advantage, gets the cone on the guy tries to edit on him, but he realizes, okay, I don't want to be in a 50-50 situation in the box versus an auto shotgun. He heard the guy use the auto shotgun. So what he does is gets out straight away. Then he's going to go ahead and reset the wall. And instead of doing a top right peek, which kind of means that it's a jump up and it's quite likely to get traded, look how beautiful this peek is he does. Sets up the right hand window, swings into it, the guy's boosted up on a weird angle, can barely even see Alex for half a second, misses his shot as well, and then he gets hit down to 1 HP. At this point the guy starts panicking, he sets up loads of armoured walls. Whenever someone does armoured walls like this, just try to quickly pressure them from the other side, as you can see here, like he does. Gets the cone into the box as well, and then he gets a very simple element after that. Okay, so in this fight I'm going to start from here. He's already got a damage tag on this guy, and you're going to see he tries to do his normal situation, just hopping into box and committing as quick as possible. So the other guy does a really good job of just making space in hard mats, especially brick. It's quite hard to get tracked, and he gets 6 splashes off. This is the most common thing in solos in the current meta. Just people have loads of splashes and they heal up straight away. So how do you counter this? You shouldn't overcommit in straight away. You have to let them go through their splashes and then wait for them to do something. As you can see it, this guy's set up, he's hitting the fucking box fighting masterclass, he's chilling in like 10 boxes here, right? So how does Alex counter this? What he's going to do is very simply set up on these walls. So he takes this wall to make sure he's not going to get Ryan peaked. Then he sets up on this wall, just keeps on swinging, and he's going to wait for the guy to do a play. He's not trying to overcommit into the box at this point. Instead, he's very simply just going to break the walls, wait for the guy to go for a play. Now that he's actually got that wall there and the guy's making space, he realizes, okay, this is my time to shine. He's going to go ahead and get this high wall on the guy, which is a very nice technique to have. Gets the full piece on it as well with the cone. Edits the cone, swings to the left again like he was doing earlier. Hits the max, doesn't even take a bit of damage, and then gets a very free kill. When someone just splashes up in a box like that, you guys need to make sure that you play slow and wait for them to do something. Wait for them to rebox, and rather than just committing in and getting pieced. One really good thing that you guys can do whenever you're fighting someone who's just using an SMG or something is to do what he does here. So bait the wall swing, so he big catches it once, and then he's just going to hold down an ADS pump as the guy's going to go ahead and edit. And you're pretty much always going to out damage someone, especially because no one's really going to right hand peek with an ADS. So if you're ADS there, you're very likely to out damage the guy pretty much all the time. Even if they're using an SMG, if you ADS and then reset, you're going to out damage the whole time. It's very useful to do during fights. This is an absolutely disgusting bit of piece control from Alex here during 50-50 zone, just coming into the end game. So you can see he's pressuring this guy and trying to chase him down, and he spots the fact that he's gone upwards and he's out one box. If you ever try to box out someone underneath like this is the best edit to do. Is the top right hand peek just like that. You can safely peek them if they're leaving the box over this side like this guy's doing, or if they leave out this side, you can actually get a free shot on them as well with this top right peek. So he gets that shot, gets the cone into the box. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually cone the guy and trap him here, which would be pretty much a free kill. But you can see he gets the cone inside the box from far away, gets that cone over on top of this side, goes in full pieces this, edits the cone, then resets it into the guy, and gets a very free kill. This is an absolutely insane fight that Alex takes here. Sort of on high low actually at this point in the cash cut, so he's running into some better players. So you're going to see first thing he does is as soon as he hops out of the car, he actually tries to go for a pump shot, so the guy's trying to track the car and see if he's in there, go for some sprays on him, and he immediately just gets a free damage advantage. Then he sprays them out, so you can see as soon as he sprays them out, he's just looking for a pump. He's just trying to create as much damage as quick as possible, and he knows he's probably going to win this trade. The fact he's got a blue striker, unless the guy falls into his box for a jump shotgun, it's very likely that he's going to just get a free damage advantage here very safely. So you're going to see he gets the 50 tag, the guy tries to SMG him, and now he's hitting for 40 plus 50. He's very confident to just go for some piece control and get into 50-50 situation with an SMG. So how's he going to go ahead and do this? One thing you're going to notice is this guy's actually really close to the wall. So what Alex does is actually very smart. Rather than coning him and doing like a top right edit where the guy can just come through the wall and he'd be in a 50-50 with the combat, instead what he does is do a 4-tile edit on the bottom right, so you can see there, puts a stare into the guy's box, cones him as well, and then squishes him up completely into the wall. So you can see here, the guy's completely pieced, he swings into a right peek, and then instantly kills him as well straight after. But you can see just how powerful the combat is, he did take a lot of damage there, so unless Alex got that first initial damage, he probably wouldn't have done that and taken that 50-50. This fight is a perfect example of what to do and how to play when you're on the defensive back foot and there's somebody pressuring you. So you can see here, this guy comes over, he immediately looks for a right hand peek, he's safely doing this from a cross box peek, so you can see here. So if this guy was to phase into this initial box, he's still got this wall here you can reset. It's very important if you're fighting on low HP or you're just fighting versus an SMG player, you have to have an extra wall between you and the guy that you can reset to safely get out of the way. So you can see he's going to reset the wall, make some space outwards, and he's going to patiently just wait here and let the guy come into his piece to try to get a shot. So you can see he waits for some piece there, then he gets a free right peek again, gets beamed from above, so now he's low HP, but you can see how patient he plays the fight. He doesn't overcommit to any of these angles. Instead he just goes for very safe right hand peeks, always looking for crossbow shots here, and now he realizes, okay, the guy's extremely wide, I'm just going to wait here with my SMG out, catches the guy as he comes into his box, misses a couple shots, he gets a very free kill. This is one of the best strategies that you can use whenever you have someone that floors you off, or when there's somebody above you. It's just going up and changing your angles that you're going to approach them. So either do a side jump, or do what he does here, where he goes out to the back and gets this high wall. It is so simple, but it is so effective. Just because you get this one bit of control on them, you've seen Alex do it numerous times already, you get a one bit of control on them, and then from here, you can see he just goes ahead, gets the middle window, gets the piece on the guy straight away, so he gets that cone, he prioritizes that. The reason he gets that cone rather than going for the side walls or the back walls or whatever is because that stops his immediate escape, and it means that he can line up a max straight away right after. As soon as he does that, he changes up his angle of approach, gets the side wall onto the guy, and whenever somebody shoots a wall like that, always just go for an instant edit on them. It means that they've got shotgun delay, this guy can't even shoot him and get a single bit of damage off in return. This is a peak that I made a video on absolutely ages ago during World Cup. Clips used to do the whole time. It's where you've got somebody underneath a stair just like this. You can see here, he gets the back corner as well, which is pretty nice. But you set up on the left-hand window peak and you hug the whole way left. The reason this is so broken is because all you need to do is you can either ADS or non-ADS and just tap right with your keyboard or just move right slightly, and you're going to instantly peek into the guy and have the easiest max damage possible. So you can see here, he swings out, and this other guy's perspective, he can barely even get a shot off. His crosshairs blocked into the wall. It's extremely hard to even get a bit of damage off, and you're basically always going to die in this situation. It's the best peek that you can do in Fortnite, in my opinion, in terms of not taking any damage in return. Cannons are one of the best things for wkey in this season. You guys should know the cannon strat to basically perfectly get in someone's box, but you can also use them to hunt down cars very effectively. Someone's carrying away from you, you can cannon and then float into their car, or you can do what Alex does here, which is panning right next to the guy, gets the crack, gets above him, doesn't even focus on this initial box where the guy is setting up. He's obviously knows the guy's going to move after getting hit at low HP, knows he's going to rebox, so he does predict it, get the double edit above, there's a nice wide open, and it gets the cone in straight away, so the guy can't do a backward jump, then he gets the back balls in, and then he gets the free kill. Again here, Alex shows how good cannons are, either hunting down opponents, or if you guys don't know the strategy, it's very simple to do. Just mark someone's box, and then if you go ahead and put yourself into the cannon and line up with a crosshair, if you get into cannon game, you know what I'm talking about. Line up with the crosshair on your ping, then you're going to go ahead and fly straight into their box, as you can see here. This guy's healing on the side of the hill, thinks he's completely safe, gets hit for 100, and then Alex straight into his box. SMGs gets a cone above and a cone below to get some control, and then he gets a very free kill straight after that as well. Just while we're on the topic of broken things since new season, Truck wkey is insanely strong. You always do at least 60 damage if you ram someone directly. Sometimes you can do 100 plus damage as well if you're going pretty quick. And you can see here, hits that guy who's boxed up 60 white, and then gets the simplest kill ever on him. I can't tell you, if you guys are shambles and you need a refresh, or you just want to wkey someone mid-game, just ramming into them with a truck breaks all of their builds. You can hop out and get loads of piece on them just by holding out your walls as you hop out, and then from there you've got the simplest kill the majority of the time on someone low HP who's extremely annoyed and likely to be playing the fight bad because you just rammed them into a truck.